see. Got it.
Yay! Okay. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Marcy.
Good morning, Becky.
Welcome to everybody. If we have people join us on Zoom, it's awesome. Please comment, say hi. It's nice that we're spending this morning together. So this is the day 9 of the Chakra Adventure. We're doing this week of realignment of our chakras. So, I have my cat here making trouble, when I'm not focused on him. It's like, is Frankie? You have Frankie with you?
She's right here staring at me.
Awesome.
Oh, she's like, please, it's my time to shine.
Hey, Frankie. I have my peanut just next to us. He's gonna come say hi.
You want to sit up here? Okay, you can sit up here, Mama.
So this whole week we were working on our chakras to kind of become aware first of each of our chakra and then open the Kundalini, right? From the roots and anchoring and the sacral chakra and all the way to third eye, crown chakra, and now the soul star chakra. So we usually say that we have 7 chakras, right? But we actually have chakras outside of our body, and it expands all the way, to the stars and the universe and our connection to everyone else as well. So we're going to talk about this today with Marisela Mendoza, who is a dear friend to me. We've met, 2-3 years ago? I don't know. We started following each other on Instagram, and like right away was like, oh, wait, we know each other. It's actually the first time that we're talking.
Yes. And we had the similar connection to the last name Mendoza. So
as well, that's crazy.
Yes.
Like, we had the same name, and like she's in California, I'm in Florida. It's like we're this rainbow bridge, and feeling really the same energy. We're kind of like, to me, you're kind of like my accountability partner, because we both feel the energies from the collective, and sometimes, and also our own challenges and our own, things that we deal with. And sometimes when I'm low, I see you posting like motivation things and how to transcend that, and it just like gives me, oh my god, yeah, we're in this together. Okay, you're so inspirational, you always find the right word. I love your readings. Every time, every time you do a reading, it's like, I love how you describe the cards. I love, all the energy, the readings and stuff, but it's also the healing that naturally, subtly comes through me. Like every time I watch one of your videos, I have like a breakthrough within the hour. Like, for example, I'm watching this and you're talking about the third eye, and you're doing this Reiki thing, like to open the third eye. I think it was last year for like a 8-8 or something like that. And literally within the hour, I don't know, I start like seeing some things that I wasn't aware of, like information that I had to have, to make some decisions and things like this. And I was like, wow, this is powerful, your Reiki. And even so, there's a little introduction. Today I want to show you a book. Okay, it's called the Magie Blanche. This is like one of the first books that I got from White Magic. I was 11 when I got that, but it's actually a recipe book. Okay, yeah, there is a bunch of recipes. You said you had a migraine this morning, so yes. I want to do like a little ritual, have this like crystal ball, like all kind of like witchy stuff, energy.
We love witchy stuff here.
So yeah, so if you want to introduce yourself and talk about the soul star chakra, I know you prepared something, and then we can I want to do a little ritual for your migraine, and give some tricks of plants and stuff that you can use and see if it works, and maybe other people can use as well, and show you other stuff. What do you think?
Hi everybody, my name is Marisela Mendoza. I am a woman of the universe. I used to have this thing on my Instagram where I would put everything like, I'm a writer, I'm a Reiki, I'm numerologist, I'm this. And I didn't want to put any more labels on me. I just want to say that I just, because I want to transcend all of that. And I want everybody else to transcend these labels that we put on ourselves because they limit us. So you are all people of the universe, and you have, through the soul star, you have access to limitlessness. So, and that's what we're here to discuss today. We're going to discuss the soul star chakra and beyond, stellar gateway, the masculine feminine union. It's beautiful. And I'm so excited that you already discussed all the other chakras in your previous wing, so we can get everybody grounded, because the soul star chakra requires deep grounding into nature. It is like a figure 8. It goes directly into the earth, and then it comes back up to the very top. And in order for it to, and my crown is tingling as we're discussing this, in order for that energy to move, you have to stay grounded like an anchor, because a lot of people, when this begins to open up, they lose that connection to Mother Earth. They lose that connection. And once you lose that connection, you can fall into a lot of delusions and illusions. So we want to make sure that we stay grounded in reality as well. So that's what we're here to discuss today. So we're going to do a little Reiki. We're going to discuss the underactive, the overactive, its actual purpose, and whatever else we want to discuss today. So I'm excited. Been looking forward to this.
Awesome. Yes. So good. Yeah, it's so true that when you're in the connections in your crown chakra, your star chakra, stuff like that, you kind of like in your dreamy, in your astral world, but you forget to ground, and then this is when it can block you to manifest. And you were saying this morning that if you have a migraine, for example, it's exactly what you were saying, right? That sometimes it's blocking because the chakra is currently working, and so
it wants to push through. The energy wants to push through, and it's almost like think of like a drain on a tub when the hair gets clogged up and it just cannot get through, and it moves very slowly. But it's about pushing that whatever debris we have there to just lift the roof off the soul and be able to transcend all the limitations that we have here on Earth.
That's what we're doing today. And I love the chakana behind you, by the way, with the frames. It looks like a chakana on the decoration. I like it.
Oh yeah.
And the two other decorations, they're like 11 as well. Like, you see,
yeah, I didn't notice. I'm house sitting for my friend today, so this is her house, and I never noticed that. That's awesome.
Everything has a purpose. All right. Yes. Okay. So
it looks just like your painting behind you here.
This is the Celtic knot, right? The Celtic. So it's like the symbol of kind of a witchcraft and magic, like make a wish to remember every day that magic is real. And this book, for example, I'm doing a little introduction about this book because, you know, magic is nature. You're talking about, you know, how the star chakra is the earth. Magic is nature. I opened the book today because I did that when you said that you had this migraine. I was like, okay, I'm going to see. I'm not into rituals, you know, I'm not into rituals, incantations, but I'm into the power of words, right? The power of words, because words have spells. So and this is what rituals and incantation are. You know, when you read it, it's actually just putting an intention. And when you're doing the Reiki, it's also the intention that you're doing with the signs and with the energy. And all it is like herbs. So this little ritual that I found this morning about to move the sickness or the pain and stuff out, they say to take like a white candle and some St. John's wort. So I wanted to mention that because the St. John's wort, it's like a tincture. I don't have anymore, so I took another one. It's like a lion's mane, but I thought because lion is like the top, you know, of the head, and chaga and reishi, and some rosemary and basil and curry. And you open a white candle and you burn the incense. So I don't have incense, but I have Palo Santo, which is very good for purifying. So while you start talking, I'm going to be doing it. Okay, I'm going to do the little preparation while you're presenting, and
You know, what's interesting, a lot of my followers also get migraines. I know Stella, if she's still here, she gets migraines as well. So this is perfect for everybody that is watching that also. A lot of us that channel energy, we get this kind of pressure headaches a lot, you know, because that energy comes through. And if we're not constantly staying balanced, that can get clogged right up in there. So balance in water is imperative.
Yeah, and you know, when you pick your herbs, like it's not necessarily, oh, I know exactly what I need. See, I changed the recipe. I don't have the St. John's wort, but the St. John's wort is really good for everything that's relaxing, opening up, you know, the
What's it
muscles.
called?
St. John's wort or St.
Okay.
John's wort. I don't know. Yeah, St. John's wort. This I had it for sciatica, like the sciatica when I was pregnant. The only thing that would help was the St. John's wort and the lion's mane. I picked that because the lion's mane makes you think of like the top of the head, right? So I was like, oh, that would be good for the soul star chakra. So if the name reminds you of something, or the lavender, for example, I got some lavender essential oil as well. You know how you use the lavender to
Oils too. Let me pull out my oils.
Use the lavender to kind of like keep the you put this in your clothes, right, to keep the ants and stuff out. So it's the same for when you want to remove the bad energies, you use lavender. So all of that is related. So what does it remind you of? And then you use that as kind of like intentional in your ritual or in your potions and stuff like that. And most likely it's always a tea or using smells and the senses. All right, so I'm gonna let you start. I have my little bowl. So they say I have my oregano, I have basil, and they say curry as well. I don't know, I'm gonna make this little thing while you're talking. Let's see. And one thing also about, you know, when you're saying about the symptom when it's blocked, it also depends on everybody. Like for me, I know if I'm channeling or if I'm doing a lot of work with energies, I never have headaches. Rarely have headaches, but I'm really tired. It's like I feel like it's you know,
yeah, it's
consuming a lot of my energy, and so I sleep a lot. But so it depends also on your body and all that.
I was just explaining it to my niece. I said, think of it like a glass of water, and you put a straw in the water. You are this glass of water. You are water, and you put the straw in there. And when we're channeling and doing energy work, a lot of that goes up the straw, and it just keeps going down and down and down. And it's a matter of replenishing that energy every time. And, you know, there's various ways to replenish. There's meditation, there's sea salt baths, but definitely water is the main thing to replenish.
Absolutely.
Stay hydrated.
Awesome. Okay, I'm burning some Palo Santo. I'm making this thing. I'll let you do your introduction about the soul star chakra. I'm excited that you're presenting that. So all ears for you.
Yay. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna do just a quick pull out a little bit of frankincense. And I've got a moldavite oil as well, and infused, because moldavite is great for the soul star chakra. I'd say labradorite. So I got labradorite and I got moldavite here. 2 different moldavites. Those are great for connecting and opening up that chakra. So for everybody out there. Okay, so we're going to talk about the soul star. So the soul star is, a lot of people confuse the soul star with the crown chakra. Now, as we know, the crown chakra is at the top of the head. It's still kind of touching our body. It's not, you know, it's still within our body because it's on top, so it's touching. The soul star is 4 finger widths above, like that, 4 finger widths above, and it is iridescent. If you've ever seen blown a bubble in the daytime and you kind of get that color, it's kind of that color. It's this beautiful iridescent, almost pearl. It's like a pearl color. Nice. And it is responsible for holding our karmic residue. And it's also the Akashic records as well. A lot of astral travel, anything that's got to do with the astral realm. Versus, let's say this, it's more of a universal. The crown chakra is more earth, connection to earth and everything on earth. The soul star is connected to beyond earth, so the stars. And then we have the stellar gateway chakra, which is universal, everything that is, it's enlightenment.
The stellar gateway chakra, so that would be over, above.
Yes. So the stellar gateway would be 12 inches above the head, and usually in a lot of religious artworks and paintings, we have angels and deities with the gold halo. That is the stellar gateway. It is a very vivid gold color. So this is the connection to the universe. This is a connection to the stars and beyond. It's not necessarily enlightenment, but it's very close to it. Because for the enlightenment, it requires a lot of releasing of the ego. And a lot of people hold on to, you know, like I was saying, labels, right? Of who they are, star seed, this and that. It almost because they're separating themselves from others by giving themselves this label. So that's why I always recommend, you know, when people are star seeds, definitely do a lot of grounding, because that's why they feel that disconnection from everyone and everything, and they feel alien because they forget to do the grounding that is required here on earth. So once you ground, you feel that connection, you feel that oneness, you feel like, oh, I get it, that aha moment. I always call any type of level up moments the aha moment. And when your star chakra opens up, you have a lot of those synchronistic aha moments where everything is aligned perfectly. You start talking about something and it literally appears in your reality. It's all about manifestation as well, instant manifestation.
And most of the time it appears in nature as well. It's in a moment when you're related to the elements. So you're watching a sunset, or you're, you know, in the water, or stuff like that. So it's really
you're
like
in awe of it, right? It's like, wow, this exists. If anybody's ever done psilocybin, I could equate it to the understanding of sacred geometry and how everything vibrates. And if you've ever done, you know, you don't have to necessarily do mushrooms to experience it, but if you have, it's easier for you to get there, because then you start seeing the pattern and everything moves and vibrates and glows. I'd say opening this chakra is unexplainable. You'll know when it happens. And I think a lot of people, they paint or they draw, or because it's easier to channel what you're experiencing through artwork versus verbal word. Verbal word is very logical, left brain. Yeah. We're trying to understand something that is unexplainable, and you're trying to explain the unexplainable. So when we use our right brain, which is the art and creativity and inspiration, we're able to kind of express what we see through the art, and through the art it is felt. So people can feel it. And so much like your artwork that you do with the sacred geometry and the dotalism and all that, people can feel it. And I think I told you when I first saw your work, I felt it. It was an unexplainable feeling. So I really highly recommend art to people. Art museums, you just go and you can see the Da Vinci, Da Vinci paintings. Everything is perfect alignment.
And I think also I say it all the time, but the main point about the art is that there's no resistance. It's not like, when you're trying to cook something, it has to be good, or you're going to eat it. Like the art really, well, of course you want it to be beautiful, but when I started my art, it wasn't because I wanted to open an art gallery. It was because I just wanted to create something. I was like, I just want to try this, and in the end, I found this dotism technique that ended up being beautiful, because I'm not super good at, drawing, creating designs and stuff, but the dotism is what creates this mosaic effect that makes any kind of super simple design, like a circle or a very simple star and stuff, make it like super vibrant and luminous. So just to add to that everybody can find a way to use the art, even if you think you're not really good at art, even if you don't have this kind of technique, you can do abstract, you can do abstract and just do whichever thing. but there's no resistance because you do it just for the fun, or you go to an art gallery just for the pleasure. It's not like someone is trying to, you know, convince you of anything. So you're more open and receptive. This is why the art is so important into the energy work and alignment.
Yeah. Energy in motion, emotion. So when we're painting and drawing and doing these creative things, our energy is in motion and we are creating something beautiful. So let's see what else. So it also, when this opens up, timelessness disappears. So with art, we're going back to art because I really associate music and art with the soul star chakra because it's divine inspiration. It comes from beyond our earthly realm and it just from source down. And it's timeless. So have you ever been painting or just into something and all of a sudden the time just flies by? That's that timeless pocket. And when you're in that timeless pocket, time stands still. You do not age. That's why a lot of artists and painters, they look a lot younger than they actually are because they find themselves in that pocket of energy that is timeless. Absolutely. So, and it's a reminder that you are infinite with infinite possibilities. So I associate the soul star chakra with pi, the symbol pi. And because you're reminded that you have the opportunities all around you. You are an instant manifester. When this opens up, you realize that you can manifest things into reality very quickly. So it's always imperative to be mindful of what your energy is putting out because it's coming back. It's like that figure 8. Let's see. So you vibrate higher. So I was explaining that about your energy vibrates higher. Your heart might beat a little quicker. You almost feel like you have anxiety because you're vibrating a little bit higher. Sometimes maybe your fingers feel a little bit like you're vibrating. It almost feels a little bit pixelated, as if you are like a hologram. It's hard to explain. I keep telling people it's a difficult process to explain, but when this opens up, you start realizing that this is sort of a matrix. And you can move around in that very sense. But once again, we stay grounded in reality because we still can't just jump off a cliff and fly. We still have to remember that we are still humans. We're spiritual beings experiencing a human experience. One way to open this up very quickly is the heart chakra. This is the pub. I always call this is the center. This is the pub. This is what, like, I would say the main airport to all the other airports, right? Everything flies in through here. And when this is open and clear, the energy moves throughout the body in a much easier way. And most of the issues that we have are associated with the heart chakra.
Yes.
So it's imperative to make sure that we work on healing our heart, forgiveness, compassion, empathy, but definitely letting go of resentment and the past. Because when you're living in the past, you're repeating those same cycles over and over. So it's imperative to live in the present, in the now. Once this is open as well, you have access to higher beings. You have access to concepts that were previously unattainable. So things that you didn't understand before, you understand them now on a more profound level. Let's take the Egyptian pyramids, for example. When I first got into this when I was a kid, no idea. No idea. I just thought it was really cool, but I was always fascinated with it. And the more that I've connected with Thoth and with Metatron and all these higher beings, the more I understand ley lines on Earth and how everything is aligned in energetic points and why everything was created. So it's a great chakra to open up and begin to understand the infiniteness of the universe. Sometimes when people open this up, they can have feelings of loneliness because nobody understands them. I know that in the beginning of this journey, I was always lonely because I felt like nobody would ever understand what I was talking about or my experiences. And after I started my channel, I started connecting with people. I think that was the key for me to expand, was starting that channel. No matter how fearful I was at the beginning, I needed to start that to connect with my soul family. And I think we need to get out of our fearful box in order to connect with other like-minded individuals. And I would never have connected with you had I never started that channel.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
it's a blessing. So we're going to get into the overactive and the underactive.
Yes.
Because for all of us, our chakras are always open. People think that you have to open and close it. They're always open, but they're just clogged. It's just like I said, it's a drainage system of energy, and how much we're open to receiving information. So for an underactive, of course, we were talking about the headaches. So a lot of people get headaches. It's really associated, I'd say it's associated with the Zeal chakra. So the Zeal chakra is a magenta color. It's located right behind your head, the medulla oblongata, right in that little hole. You can like put your finger in there. It's kind of associated with that because that is associated with the spirit realm. I'd say the spirit realm would be kind of 4, and anything beyond that up here would be 5, because this is where your soul is free. So you get a lot of headaches when you're channeling energy. I always say drink a lot of water. If it's underactive, you can be very skeptical. You can feel like you need proof. You need proof. I need proof. A lot of science. A lot of people that are the science needs to be the science. They have an underactive soul star because they don't have faith. And this requires a lot of faith, because what you are seeing and what you are feeling is real. And a lot of people want to understand it, so they need to logically explain it. And you cannot explain the unexplainable in a scientific way.
That's why it's nice nowadays that they are actually starting to explain the magic and all that through the science. You know, I follow a Resonance Science Foundation. Yeah. And they're all about the stars and the chakras, the frequencies and all that. Like
telepathy. Yes, we're sending photons through the air, you know?
Yes. And it's like, it's science nowadays. This is what is the revolution, because all this part of the population that was skeptical, that needs sign, and that is not negative. It's just that you need to have a proof, because maybe you doubt yourself, you don't know what your experience have been, or maybe in other past life, the residual that you have, and that is forming your blueprint pretty much. So nowadays we can explain it scientifically. So now everybody has a reason to believe,
Yes, and that's great. And I forgot to mention this. So this is associated with the Akashic records. Yes. This is your past lives. You remembering your past lives. So when this does open, you start remembering a lot of your past lives, and you start remembering a lot of people from your past lives. Now you can meet somebody and I know that person from a past life. They have no idea who you are, because they're not there yet. But you feel that resonance with them, like, okay, I know you. And so sometimes it's hard to, that's where the loneliness comes in, because don't you remember me? And they have no idea. So it's Akashic records. And so a lot of people think the Akashic records is solid, but it isn't. It is ever transforming. It can change by your actions every day. So one action of forgiveness all of a sudden reverberates through time and space, changes the Akashic records.
Yes, this is incredible. This is something that I woke up with this morning. Like every day is a new day. The sun rises every day. And sometimes, the Polaris, what we call the guiding star, the North Star, right? That the sailors used to use this, to guide themselves. It's like our brightest star. It's called Polaris, right? And one of our most difficult thing to transcend as humans is the polarity, right? Or ups and downs. I mean, I have it, maybe other people have it, this being so motivational and positive and things like that. And like 2 hours after, you feel like insecure and not trusting. And, some part of myself, like, for example, I inherited from some people of my family that traits that you would run from, and then they appear within you, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be this, and so go to bed to that, like almost like dislike in the world, or dislike in yourself even, rejecting this part of step, and then waking up in the morning, taking some sleep. And this is why it's so important to take care of our body as well, to have the rest that we need, to find the solutions, the herbs, anything really, if it's magic, if it's art, if it's you know, expressions or whatever that heals us. In the morning, I wake up and it's a beautiful day, and I have, oh my God, I have all the reasons to be so excited and happy and magical, you know. And I thought about Polaris and the polarity, and I was like, you know, this is also written in the stars that we are like this, you know, and we are here to figure out how to always find the guidance and the light to be the brightest that we can be. So this is just amazing how we can use the messages, you know, from the universe or from the stars. Or I know over my house, you know, my house is like a triangle, like this, kind of like a pyramid almost.
Yeah.
And I always has these 3 stars right above my roof, like this, just perfectly aligned. And the first day I moved here, I was outside looking at the stars, and there was like the once in a lifetime alignment of like Mars, Jupiter, and Venus, you know. I don't know, it was just, it reconnects you, you know, with your ancient origins. And by becoming aware of it, you also heal the thing. You're able to say, okay, this doesn't belong to me, you know, and transcend it a lot faster as well than you would if you have no idea about it, you know.
Before, like when you know, I have moments of depression, and before I would stay stuck in those moments for such a long time. Now it's easier for me to snap out of it. And I don't like to use the word snap out of it, because I know back in the day, people used to tell me, just snap out of it. But I didn't understand back then. And now I understand it. And I understand a lot of the times what I'm picking up on is not me. I'm picking up on a collective energy of sadness and despair, and people feeling that they have no hope. And I have to, whenever that happens, I kind of have to ground myself once again, get that, okay, that's not mine. That's a lot of people's fears. And
just to add, like, even, you know, it's not yours, but if you're getting it, or if I'm getting it, it's because there's still a work to do about it. Maybe sometimes, you know, I'm going through a challenge and I'm like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to go to this? But maybe this is given to you. Maybe you feel it because you're a super healer, and you're able, you know, when you post your things and you describe it, you're able to transmit it for yourself. But the other people that read it, they adjust to this level of energy right away. You raise the vibe for all the other ones as well. So if it was, you know, maybe the people who are in such a deep state of like depression or whatever, they don't have the strength. They don't have the strength to do it. So you're here to do it for them. And sometimes you need someone else. And, you know, we all interdependent as well. This is important to say that, you know, there's not just the one healer and the one mentor and the one God, and, you know, that pulls everybody. It's, we all here have the role to pull each other up as well, and take roles and take parts, you know.
And I think with the collective stuff like that, I mean, a lot of people notice I don't post readings all the time. I don't post Reiki all the time. When I feel a pull is when I do.
Yeah.
And usually I feel pulls during portals. A lot of people during portals, they're having indecisiveness, decision making, and I'm pulled to read during that time to give guidance or whatever. And with the Reiki, also the same thing. Depending on what I'm feeling with the collective, I'll make a video based on that particular energy. But it's about realizing what is mine energy versus what is this that's coming through. And I think also the Akashic records and all this stuff, the karmic residue, this is associated, people, you know, they say past lives, because we have, as earthly humans, need to define time to understand things, and past lives are concurrent lives. So wherever we are, you know, Egyptians, gods, or, you know, we are all gods, of course, but it's about remembering this. This is about remembering. Anytime I think of Soul Star and I work with Soul Star, or I'm doing anything associated with Soul Star, I hear remember, remember, remember. And what is remember? Remember means not only remembering something, but putting something back together that was separated. So think about like how I was explaining, everything felt pixelated. That's because that's all our fragments And we're bringing all those fragmented pieces back together. When this starts opening up, we are becoming our whole self and realizing that we are everything and everyone. So it's one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite chakras. It really is, because it just takes you beyond earth, takes you beyond the earthly understanding to something far deeper. Another underactive would be sloth, sloth-like. So somebody who, inactivity, we just don't feel a pull or a purpose to do anything. So when it's underactive, we don't feel purpose. We don't feel like, why? What's the point?
Exactly.
Right? What's the point? Why am I doing this? And I'm sure that a lot of people feel that feeling, like, what's even the point of this? So that's part of the underactiveness. That's that energy not reaching out.
It's so strong, because when this happens, that like it opens up and you discover how much, like, it's never ending, like, right? Because you're open to the universe, to the stars, to the infinite, right? So
yes,
how much you are is infinite, and you start seeing, you open a page of a book and there is something for you in there, and then you open the page of another book and you start solving your own mysteries of your life, and you're like, you look at something from Egypt and you say, oh my God, this was, for me, but not just for me, it was for someone else and someone else. But you're like, oh my God, this is so passionating. Okay, we are important, we matter, we have left clues of everything everywhere. And then life becomes like a mystery game. You're just in an adventure all the time. And so marvelous, it keeps happening more and more.
You know how people tell somebody, you're not the center of the universe. Well, the fact is, you are the center of the universe. And when this opens up, you realize that you are that I. That is you.
Because you're conscious of everything. So you see from a perception, but sometimes I remember my past lives now, but sometimes from my own life, but sometimes I remember the life from the eye of someone else.
Yes.
Because, okay, what you did in this life, this is what happened when you were not seeing at that time. And now you can see what was the effect of it, and that you're solving or healing or completing, continuing, whatever, in this life. So there are so many perspectives and points of view as well, that you become, like you said, the eye that can see from every point of view as well. And so that helps. Why is it important? Because that helps also putting yourself in someone else's spot and raise compassion. One day we were in Nicaragua with our friends, and one of my friends, Thomas, we were having this conversation, like a debate, right? Where, I don't know what was the topic at the time, but let's imagine a debate like COVID, right? That everybody has their different point of views and whatever. And then he's like, all right, now let's change seats. And I was like, why does he say that? That's kind of, he's like, yeah, let's change seats. You go sit here and I go sit here, and we change seat around the table. And so the view, what I'm looking at, is different. The way he's next to me is different. And then we keep the conversation. But I don't know, energetically, there was a shift, because we are all seeing the situation from a different angle, So even physically, you manifest it, like literally, put yourself in my seat and see what goes.
Yeah, speaking of the empathy, one of the underactives is extreme apathy. When you don't have empathy for people, and you just, whatever, I hate this, I hate that, I hate that person, I hate this. You have that extreme apathy. You don't care for the animals. You don't care for Mother Earth. It's almost like a complete disconnection from everybody. Yeah. So apathy is a big one for underactive. And drama. So when you are constantly getting into other people's drama because you feel no purpose in your life. So a lot of like, and it doesn't have to be personal drama, like getting into other people's business, but it could be television, getting on TV shows and reality TV and all that stuff, because you're trying to distract yourself from your own path by getting into theirs. And now that's your life. Like, oh, well, did you hear about so-and-so on the, Housewives show or whatever? So drama. And so the, also we have the unknown, like I said, the unknown purpose, not feeling like, well, I have a purpose, I just don't know what it is. And I always tell people, when you're feeling that way, your purpose is whatever you want it to be. That is it. We get to choose. Literally infinite possibilities come through. You get to choose whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be. And all you have to do is follow that path.
Yeah, my mentors, they always say, you know, what if money wasn't a problem, if, you know, your family, whatever, health, whatever, if you had no problem at all, what would you do? Where would you go? What would you like to do? You know, without thinking, oh, is this realistic? Is this reasonable? You know, all the limitation that you can put yourself with. And what would you like to do? Where would you like to be? And so this is the best question, because sometimes you're like, oh, that, you know, you always say, oh, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, but what do you really want? What, you know, that everything is possible. And this is a work of every day. And that's why it's so important to have a mentor or follow you or people that resonate with you, to find your soul family, because I really feel we're guiding each other along the way, you know. Okay, keep going. I have a globe, actually, you know what, because we're talking about this and you always talk about like moving, you know.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
okay,
okay,
you know how I always do songs? I always do songs in my readings. So I have songs. I wrote some songs while I was getting ready to do this. And one of the first songs was "Where Are You Going" by Dave Matthews Band. The very first song, as you say that.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, you're gonna tell me stuff. Okay, let's imagine. So we're in the stars right now. You know this view that you see from the moon. You see the Earth from the universe. Okay, so this is the Earth, right? All right, tell me stop, and we're gonna see where we're going.
Stop.
Japan.
Yes, I've been drawn to Asia recently. So
yeah.
It was one of the languages. I'm learning French, I'm learning Japanese and Korean. I was trying to learn Mandarin, but it was so hard.
Are you learning Japanese and Mandarin?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. It's hard. It's a little harder than I thought. I think it's because with any language that is Latin based, it's easier for me to understand because I go back to the root Latin, the Latin root of everything. And with those, it's a totally different. It's like you're an alien trying to understand alien hieroglyphics that, you know, because they don't resonate with any of these other letters that we already know. So it was difficult.
It reconnects you with the symbols. It reconnects you also with the symbols, you know. I'm super curious about this. I really, really want to, I'm not too attracted to the Mandarin. And I'm really attracted to Russian language. I don't know why. I've always wanted to learn Russian. Not so much go to Russia, but it's just the language. I have this obsession with the Russian. I don't know. I think like
in your other life, you are a Russian woman.
maybe. But I was seeing yesterday a video when there was these subtitles, right? I think it was in Russian, or I don't know. The subtitle were in these characters, but you could read things, even though I don't know the language at all. You could read things through the characters. Maybe that's not at all what it meant, but through the shape and the letters. Yeah, I was kind of like reading messages. And you know, when I was,
it's all about symbolism. This is why the archetypes in our brain will remember symbols.
Yes, and when you're not expecting it as well. Like when I was in Bahrain, I used to live in the Middle East for like 1.5 years, and I was trying to learn Arabic. So I knew a little bit of Arabic, like kind of the alphabet and write stuff, but I can't say that I could have a conversation and speak it. But we were all talking. And my other colleague, Sarah, who was amazing, and we were with our students, and they were talking in Arabic, right? And we were the 4 of us talking, and they were talking in Arabic, but I didn't even notice. You know, just like you speak perfectly English and Spanish, and someone is talking to you, you don't really know what language you're talking. Oh, is it? And they were talking Arabic, and all of a sudden someone says something, and we all start laughing, and they all look at me like, "Did you get that?" Like I was like, yeah, I don't know. I just started laughing. Like, I don't know what they were saying, but so energetically.
You subconsciously understood it.
Yeah, that was just awkward.
So, okay, we're going to get to the overactive. So confusion, right? Because you have all this information, all these signs and synchronicities, and you don't know what anything means. It's just coming at you very fast. I remember when mine opened up, I was driving because I see license plates all the time. They are clear messages, a lot of these personalized plates. And I was driving with a friend and I closed my eyes. I go, I can't see this anymore because it was everywhere. And he was like, what is going on? And then I went like this. And then the next license plate said, you looked, didn't you? And I looked, didn't you? And I was like, and he's like, look at that one. And I was like, oh my God. So that's a point where I was very confused because I said, I didn't understand what was happening. But then I started understanding that's how the universe speaks to you, through all these different formats and all these different ways that you can, however you can understand it logically. So let's take mediumship, for example, how mediumship works for me. Spirit will show me, let's say if I'm doing a reading for a woman and her husband is named Nick and her husband Nick passed away. I don't know this Nick, but Spirit will show me a friend of mine named Nick. And then I'll still ask her, do you know a Nick? And she'll say, yes, that was my husband that passed away. So the messages will come through in ways that we can understand. They're going to give us the easiest route for us to understand it if it's really a message that needs to be relayed. So confusion is a lot of things that happens with people. So definitely, once again, grounding is the secret to all these different overactive, underactive grounding. Yes. Is imperative. Yes. Let's see. So focusing too much on past and future. So this is all about now. We have to stay in the now. And so a lot of people will focus on things that happened in the past. And that in turn will start repeating. History repeats, they say, right? So that's what happens. History will start repeating because you're manifesting that. Because as this opens up, your ability to manifest is heightened to the millionth. So you'll start manifesting those things. So let's say you had a person in the past, a karmic relationship that you didn't work through, and you'll attract another person with those same issues and the same problems. And you'll keep repeating these things until you break the cycle. So it's about breaking these karmic cycles. You can easily break these cycles, these karmic cycles. I always tell people, like in numerology, we have karmic numbers, and people are scared of them. And I said, no, it's about understanding it. You're repeating the same thing over, and this is your chance to stop repeating the cycle. Yeah. So it's not a big deal.
Or healing the situation. Like I know there is, like, for example, a family situation that happened to my grandma, right? And that I didn't really know about, but she was all of her life. She was like, oh, one day I will tell you what, like it was the big secret and stuff like that, you know? And then like the same kind of situation happened from my life, the reverse, right? And that I was like, oh my God. So all these things that like she suffered from, now I'm seeing it from the other point of view. And I felt like I understood her point of view. And then I was on the other side that I was like, okay, I understand. I can heal that for her because I understand also the balance of the situation, that maybe at her time, you know, it was in the 1940s and 1950s and stuff like that. So that was another culture, another thing, society, you know, and so yeah, being able to balance this for your karmic generations, that sometimes things happen to you and you don't realize how important it actually is if you don't have this memory of this understanding of being able to step back and say, okay, this is the totality of the situation, what's happening.
Exactly. When like they say, you heal, if you heal yourself now, you heal generational timelines, break generational curses. I don't like to use the word curses because it's all in your head. But generational trauma, you heal it once you start healing yourself.
And it's also, like you were saying, grounded, because sometimes I have so many ideas, so much. It's great, but you can be overwhelmed and I feel like running. Literally, sometimes it gets underproductive because I'm like, I have so much and I'm trying to do everything at the same time, and then so much that I just like have a, you know, like a breakdown and I need to run and like leave the country or whatever, because
focus. The word is focus. Focused intent. Focus on one thing that you want to accomplish. I know we want to do a lot of things because we have so many different ideas, but writing them down is good because it gives you, okay, so I don't want to forget this, and put it in order of what's most important to you to get done. Focus, intent. Another overactive is, we were talking about this earlier, delusions and illusions, right? So where people will get stuck in a lot of delusions and illusions of things. You know, so this is the thing about how we are connected to everybody and everything. So some people, let's take a celebrity. Some people will feel, I'm connected to that celebrity. Well, yeah, because we are connected to everyone and everything. So sometimes when our focus is on that person, we can pick up on things that, let's say if you're following someone on Instagram and you are picking up on, you know, water, and they'll post water and they'll be like, oh my God, we're connected. Well, it's because you're focused on that person. So you're seeing foresight what's going to be coming from them. So, you know, sometimes it's not an earthly connection, but it is definitely a spiritual connection, because we're able to connect that way. So it's about making sure that you ground yourself into reality and realize that everything, yes, we are connected, but doesn't necessarily mean that person, it belongs in our life, or that we have to go chasing after that person. Making sure that we stay grounded in reality. I think a lot of people
this connection also, I feel like, expands. It's like, you know, when you talk about like the soulmates or the twin flames or the
twin flame, this is exactly that.
Alpha and Omega, and all this strong bond connection that is soul family, right? Once you connect to that, it also expands to all the relationships around you. This is something that I noticed, that by reconnecting with my soul family and people that I know, we have, you know, that connection, and then it spreads out to more and more and more and more, until the end that we're all going to feel it so strongly. That is so beautiful, because, you know, with certain people that I don't even know, like you or others,
so we feel it because we are connected. Like my friend told me one time, she posted something, she was appreciating people, and she says, I appreciate Marcy, she's connected to everyone and everything. And then I thought about that and I said, that makes a lot of sense, because I do connect with a lot of people, and I'm connected. I've always felt that I'm always connected to everyone. I can pick, if I can focus on a person, I think it's a little bit of remote viewing as well. I can pick up on what they're doing, because we're connected in that very way. And I think the more that people awaken to their abilities and gifts, we'll be able to finally have these telepathic communications. I have these telepathic communications with people that I'm close with. We practice this. Like I can have it with you. I can be talking about something and you.
Oh yeah, like sometimes you do a reading and you say something, or sometimes I say something and I hear you. Like the other day, you know, I don't usually do reading. I just haven't had, like I said, I do too much. I haven't had time to paint a lot lately. So when I was doing these chakras, I was doing the cards, right? And I was like, oh, this is Marcy's thing, you know? And sometimes, like the other day, I'm talking, and all of a sudden I start singing a song, and it's literally almost your voice comes out of my mouth. And I'm like, this is Marcy's thing. Like, you know, I feel like your energy, okay, that's the reading, like Marcy would do it like that. But you know, it's so good, because I feel like once you connect through this unconditional love, right? Because once you become aware of everything, then, you know, there's no BS, like you see through people, you know, you see through the thing. But so you're also able to transcend that and go over all the gossip or the grudges, or the, you know, all the things that makes humankind like trouble and leads to, you know, all the troubles of society, pretty much, all the taboos. Emotions, yeah, like you were saying. So that's what it's important, you know, to connect to that, this unconditional love, and brings everyone and makes it so beautiful. And then all the relationships, they becomes so intense, even when I'm at the lowest and I'm bad and I don't trust it, you know, anymore in myself or the world and stuff. And then I see my others, so family, my mentors, or you, or, you know, people I follow, or friends, or one of my friends texts me this day and they're going through the same thing, whatever. And then I'm like, oh, wow, okay, cool. That's not true. I'm not by myself. They're here. Okay. Where I can go through this like right away.
Yeah. When I get into these depressive modes, my hardest part for me is to be vulnerable and share when I'm going through this, but it's imperative to share what you're going through, because that's when you're going to get the support that you need. Sometimes a lot of people don't want to share because they feel they burden people. I don't want to burden anybody with how I'm feeling. I don't want to, but it's like, if you don't share, you're not going to get, we're here to support and love each other and care about each other. And if you're not willing to share, that means that you don't trust me to help you as a friend or as a, you know what I mean? So it's imperative to share. Let's see what else. Yeah, the heart must be open for this process. Breaking cycles. Oh, the acceleration of psychic abilities, right? So from 0 to 60, I would say. When I had my awakening, people say, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. I was at my lowest point in my life. I was the unhealthiest, eating the worst, blah, blah, blah. That's when I had my awakening, when I was at my lowest, what is it, rock bottom. All of a sudden I awoke, and it was like a whole nother world. And I almost felt like maybe I died. And because when we die, people think you die and you're done. No, you wake up and you're in the next life. It's almost like a continuous life. It flows like the ocean. It just continues. And so you wake up and you are in your other life, slightly different than the previous one. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I felt like maybe I had died, because then I woke up that day and everything's different. Everything changed. I had these abilities that were out there. I was like, holy cow, am I dreaming? I don't know how many times I had to ask people, am I dreaming? Is this real? Because I could not believe what I was seeing, what I was feeling. It just didn't feel real to me. And now I
have many lives. You feel like you have many lives in a lifetime. Definitely. And you know, I do think that you align to a different frequency and you land to another world. Like, it happens sometimes that, for example, a song, there's the lyrics of a song, right? And then a week after, it's like the lyrics are different.
And, and the Mandela effect, right? The Mandela effect.
Yes, that is crazy. Like, you know, this.
No. I remember it this way, but now they're telling me it was this.
Like in Sliders, you know, when they get there and like the traffic light is red instead of green or whatever. Like, you know, this song, like shotgun, yes, please. Na, 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 na. Well, this song, I could swear, like in the summer, I was listening to it. It was like, shotgun, yes, please. Like, you know, like attitude, right? And now the other day I listened to this song and it says like, sugar, yes, please. And I'm like, what? And I look at the lyrics everywhere and it's that, and it's different. Or
it is, yes. Because I do a lot of music oracle. I do a lot of music because music transcends time and space.
It does. Okay, thank you. I'm like crazy.
This is why I use music in my readings. Everybody doesn't understand the depth of, that's my favorite part of my readings, is the music, because music speaks to me on a different, numbers and music speak to me on a different level. And this is why I always use it, because it transcends, and you will remember a song lifetimes and lifetimes later because of the emotional impact that it made you feel. We remember these emotions. And they're associated to songs. And yes, the same thing happened. I can be hearing, there was a band I was listening to, and I said, that's not the singer.
Yes, right. You're like, this is a different person.
Yeah, his voice sounded, I think it was like a Def Leppard song. I was like, no, his voice sounded completely different. What in the heck? And so it's weird. Or like, it'll be an artist that we thought died, but they're still alive. And you're like, I remember him dying. Like, I remember seeing the news about it, and now he's still alive. So it's like we jump. I call it jumping, quantum jumping, dimension jumping. There's a great show. I don't really watch a lot of like TV anymore. I do watch, sometimes I'll watch Netflix. I do watch a lot of historical Korean dramas for some reason. I think that's like a really? Current life. I must be like an old Asian woman in my other life somewhere. But there's a show called The OA on Netflix. Yes. And that show resonated so deeply with me, not only because of the Reiki movements that they use, that, you know, dance and Reiki movements that they use to transport this energy that they all share together in the movement
Yes.
And as we know, frequency, movement, sound, all these are the things
It's like a code. It's like a combination code.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she jumps, you know, the guy, without giving too much of the show away, this scientist, he puts people through near-death experiences because he wants to know what's in between.
Yeah.
And there's a great book by Dr. Brian Weiss. It's called Many Lives, Many Masters. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of that book, but he's a hypnotherapist, and he records everybody's what happens between, you know, the death process and all that. And it's super fascinating, and it super resonated because that's how I remember things. So when I see somebody doing something that I already remember and there's my confirmation, I highly recommend that book. It is one of those books that takes away your fear of death. So when you don't have a fear of death anymore, everything is limitless. Everything is, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, there's go ahead.
No,
there's another book called Between Death and Life by Dolores.
Yes, that one too. I've read that one.
She was a quantum hypnotist. She was doing quantum hypnosis and stuff like that. And she would record like people who had near-death experience as well. She would record their things.
Her name is her name is Allison Coe. She's got a channel, a YouTube channel. You can probably find her. And she also discusses all these different people that her hypnotherapy sessions, and none of these people know each other. And they all have the similar in-between experience of going through, you know, the process of the life review and the talking to the ascended masters and all this stuff. And a lot of us on Earth are ascended masters. We came back here to help everybody else ascend, because it's like a frequency. And, you know, I feel like things were off balance, and things need to be back in balance. Whether things were too light or things were too dark, everything needs to be the yin and yang balance. It has to exist. I mean, people want world peace, but not in this particular frequency that we are in. It is a third dimensional frequency. It is a heavy frequency. It's not going to change. We can move on to the next frequency and the next life, and might be different, but in this particular timeline,
you can align it. So I feel like you align it. So with the people, do you see how there are people who completely like disappear from your life, or like you know, because you're aligned to a different frequency, and it's just we are in the same world, but we're on all, there's like worlds like in the OA, right, when it's like world between worlds between worlds.
Yes, exactly.
Like
this is how ghosts exist. We think that it's a ghost that's haunting us, but it's really another dimension of person living their normal existence and turning off their lights, turning on their lights, shutting their door.
Like the movie The Others.
Yes. So what's interesting is my mom, she doesn't believe in any of that stuff, but I was telling her that her house is haunted. I said, I was in the shower one time at her house and somebody was jiggling the door to come in, and I'm like, I'm in the shower. And I got out and nobody was home. It was just me there. So she didn't believe me when I told her. And then now the veil is thinning. And so we're experiencing more of these dimensions are merging. And so she told me the other day that somebody was in her room. They opened her door and there was nobody home. And I said, see, I told you so. I said, it's not really a haunting. It's just that somebody lives in that house in another dimension of time and space.
Yeah. So tell me, I have a question, because, you know, when you do healing, you do healing or you do cleans like a house or a place or whatever, you know how important it is to clear your energy, right? The selenite you have. Actually, I want to send this to you, I want to send it to you.
Oh, wow. That is huge.
Yes.
Beautiful piece.
Yes. For cleansing, so how do you do, after you do a Reiki, do you do a cleansing?
When I do the Reiki, usually I close out with this. This is simple. And people think that you have to do all sorts of this and that. I'll either do that or I'll do some sage or palo santo. Sometimes I'll just go and put my feet in dirt outside in nature and just let Mother Nature take whatever energy is stagnant energy that's
cycling.
But definitely when you're around certain people that you feel drained around, I always recommend grounding to replenish yourself, drinking lots of water. Yeah.
So good.
You know, I'm trying to think of what else we got. Oh yeah, we were going to talk about the stellar gateway, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
The stellar gateway is the one that I was talking about. That's gold. Yeah. So beyond, that's what we would consider the Christ consciousness. So when we reach the golden state, or the golden era, as a lot of people are hoping and wishing, and that is when we finally transcend everything beyond the universe. Like we are, that's the eye that people have the pyramid with the eye. That's that eye. Like you realize that all this whole universe, when you expand out, is you. And so it's this beautiful gold halo. And that's why when you see a lot of religious paintings and stuff, they all have the gold halo.
The aura, yeah.
Enlightenment. And what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is just knowledge, right? Tapping into that universal knowledge, tapping into that universal wisdom. People, they seek knowledge everywhere, right? Not realizing that it's all in here already. When you meditate, you can pull all that information. And I think a lot of us, when we do readings and stuff like that, usually I just use the cards to kind of have a focus point. So that's like how you see me reading the card. It's more of a focus point to focus. And then the rest of the information comes from wherever the heck it comes from.
And it's like a practice. The more you do it and you reconnect, like it happens all the time that like, I take a book, I'm like, oh, intentionally, I'm going to read this book, right? And then I start writing or I start saying something, and then I open the book and it's like,
and it's there,
word for word,
yes,
everything I was just writing. Because the cards, for example, I started with the cards when, like you say, it gives you a reference point, an inspiration, a guidance. So I'm talking, okay, the card guides me to that, but then it's like a practice, like a sports, right? And then it expands so much that then you don't even need the cards, the crystal, the amplifiers, let's say,
yes,
amplifiers, so the guidance.
This is what the soul star and the stellar gateway do. You don't need tools, right? So when you reach that state, these are all tools that we use to, I call it like co-creating. We can enhance it. And you really don't need them.
Because you love it. Like, you don't need to have a dog, but you just love it. They give you the best company. You don't need to have someone else in your life. You're a full being all on your own. But why do you want to share your life and your joys and with someone? Because we amplify each other's energy. It's the same with the crystals. They amplify the beauty, the art as well. Like you don't need the art, but you want it because it inspires you. It opens up. All this is a co-creation, like you say. It's a environment that you create also for yourself. Maybe you don't need it, but you wouldn't be as open, you wouldn't be as inspired and everything if you didn't have this around you to guide your energy and channel it, balance it.
People think that you need to go be a Buddhist monk in order to become enlightened, and that is far, far, far from the truth. Yes, that's nice that you can, they go and they meditate for hours. It does help to, meditate. When I first started meditating, I used to meditate for hours on end. There's a great book. It was one of the books that expanded my consciousness and awareness. It's called The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. And in that book, he discusses the art of manifestation with monks. And it's a group effort. They all get together and they meditate for hours. And in one meditation, they manifested an apple. And there was a scientist there because they were doing studies on this. They were not allowed to record it. They were not allowed to do anything, but they were allowed to experience it. And the scientists took the apple and took it to the lab, and it was the molecular structure of an apple. So they were able to manifest that instantly because they were all meditating for hours on end, right?
Creating matter, crazy. Mm.
Yeah, and so it's possible to, but the way that it manifests in our lives is differently. Somebody will bring you an apple. You're thinking of an apple, and somebody will bring it to you. For in their thing, they actually manifested it right then and there. But we manifest differently because we're not sitting around meditating for 50 hours, a week
creating
or
the cells.
yeah
Like a 3D
and
printer.
yeah and so it's interesting what we can instantly manifest things, and that's why I always say it's imperative to think about what you're manifesting in your life, with an open heart. There was a song that came through, I forgot which one it is.
Yeah, tell me about songs.
Okay, so there was one that came through. Oh, I can't remember which one it was.
It's
Well,
one of
I'll
the
get to that.
questions I was going to ask you. See, I have a question. I was going to say, what is the song that came in your mind today, this morning?
Oh, well, yeah. So there was a song that popped up that I kept singing yesterday. I posted it on my Instagram. But anyways, there's a song here that always pops up. I talked about it on my Instagram a few times, and it popped up again for this reading, and it was Fly by Sugar Ray. Which I was like, okay, I just want to fly.
I just want to fly.
Yeah, that song. And it always pops up, and I didn't know what it was about, but I think it's us in a sense. We want to fly. So in the evolutionary process of we get wings, right? I actually think birds are more evolved than humans. They actually said that crows, genetically, they actually are more advanced than Neanderthals, because they were creating tools before Neanderthals were. So I actually think the crows and the owls, they are much smarter. And that's why a lot of they say the Illuminati, they worship the owl, because the owl, it just metaphorically, it sees everything. It can turn its head. It has a perception, higher perception. The eagle, look at how high it flies, and it can see a grander perception of things. So the process of us flying, being able to have these metaphorical wings that we can fly. So it's interesting that pops up. So the first song, I guess I'll start talking about the songs that came through. So the first song that came through was "Where Are You Going" by Dave Matthews, and that popped up with earlier when you were talking about where do you want to go. And today I had pulled out the Enchanted Map, one of the Enchanted Map decks, because that keeps popping up. The North Star keeps popping up, the Polaris, like guiding, like where are we supposed to go? And I keep hearing higher ground, mountain, higher ground, mountain. And I don't know if it's because I'm picking up on what happened with Atlantis and Lemuria and the flooding and all that stuff, but I kept hearing mountain. Mountain popped up like 6 different times the other day. I noted it. Different songs, they all had mountain references.
The mountains and the volcanoes, like
yes, volcanoes too.
The volcanoes, the energy that's coming out when you say it's so important to express and to share and stuff like that. It's like the earth is purging. It's purging the getting closer, to the skies, and
we are unraveling things within our energetic system, right? These cords and things that we have attachments, and we're kind of just unraveling everything and straightening it out and going smoothly. And so what was interesting was the second song was "Unravel" by Bjork.
And you see, you are saying that you were talking about like a funnel, almost like, how it was clogged, right? And the image of the volcano that is like, okay, it's unclogged, it's opening. So I think while we're talking at the same time, we're like opening, the star chakra also of.
And people are afraid, they fear volcanoes, right? But in the process, a volcano has its purpose. The volcano creates new land. So there's different people that have different fears, but they don't realize that some of these things that they fear have a deep and profound purpose. So unravel, she talks about when your heart comes undone and you can finally unravel. And so, think about the heart and all our attachments that we have to people and these things, right? And just unraveling that and letting all these attachments go. And so the crown chakra, the soul star, the stellar, one of the ways to really open and transcend is to release attachments to anything on earth. And I'm not saying let go of them, but let go of the attachment of control and holding on. So a lot of attachments to material objects, to people, to things, right? We cannot transcend when we have these attachments. So when we, let's say metaphorically, a person passes away, they're attached to that. and they don't continue moving forward because they have an attachment to that. So it's imperative to let go of things. There's a Native American culture, tribe, I forgot which one it is. They burn all the belongings of the person when they pass away. So they have zero attachment to anything, and their soul can be free.
Yeah.
So that is when we are truly free, is when we decide, I love my dog, I really do. But if God forbid I had to leave her behind, that's the only one thing I would probably have an attachment to, because I'd be like, no, my little Frankie, I'm gonna take her with me.
You know, Leticia, she couldn't make it. We're gonna postpone the interview, but she was telling me one day a story about this lady who had lost her dog, right? And she was sleeping with the leash, right? She was sleeping with the leash under her pillow because she didn't want to let go of the dog. And that the dog was like, you know, you need to let me go. Like, you know, the dog was like kind of stuck. And so then she left the leash, you know, so the dog could go and everything. But there is also, so I agree for that, and how to be able to let go in a way that you become aware that death doesn't exist, that there is this other kingdom, that you are connected regardless, you know.
Yes.
But it's also, there is some stuff about the spirituality of, like, you know, let go of attachment, let go of expectation, and love yourself, that I don't really agree with, because, you know, it's also a proof of love to not letting go of someone, to say, hey, you're not going anywhere, okay? You're in my life and I'm in your life, and, you know,
we're not
here
letting go.
for
Like
you.
I said, we're not letting go of the person and the love. We hold on to that, but letting go of the attachment to it, of I can't, I need, I must, I want, right?
Yeah.
We have to relinquish that control and say, it's okay if it's in my life, and it's okay if it's not in my life. I still hold love for it. But that's hard for a lot of people, right? I mean, back in my day, relationships, letting go of relationships, I had a hard time letting go of relationships. And I think mostly because I had abandonment issues from my father when he passed away. So I felt I didn't like to let people go because I lost the most important person. But now that I understand things, it's easier for me to, if I'm in a bad well, I really haven't been in any bad relationships, but to let go of relationships that were no longer aligned with myself, right? And say, okay, that's okay to let them go. I was engaged to somebody once, and I saw him marrying somebody else in one of my visions, and I go, oh, he's not, I guess he's not meant to be with us. And he didn't understand why I was breaking off the engagement, but I understood, and I left. Shortly after, he did marry the girl that I saw in my vision. So I think a lot of the times we hold on to things because we want to, I don't want them to be with anybody else. I don't want that person to leave. And it's okay, because when we let go, we give them freedom to move, to choose, to be.
Yes, there is this saying that says, let people do what they want to do, and you'll see what they want to do, you know? Let people do what they want to do, and you'll see what they really want to do. So it's true. But I also think it's healthy. It's good to have expectation from people, because when you have expectation, it means that you have value, you know, you give value to people, you have consideration for someone, you trust in them, you believe in someone. You know, if you have a best friend and you know they're going wrong, and you're like, hey, you know better, you know, I'm not just gonna let you go or expect nothing. I expect from my friends, you know, and I expect from myself, I expect from my son as well.
This is our earthly emotions. Right? We're talking about the soul star and the stellar, which we have no attachment to things because we are out here. So think of like when you astral travel and all that stuff, right? We're not thinking about anything here because we're out here. So I think a lot of this emotion and attachment is love that we have here on Earth. And this thing only exists. This is what's so special about Earth, is that we have these bonds and these connections and things, and they transcend. When the love is deep enough, that's the only thing that transcends death. That's the only thing that transcends the universe, is love. It is the most powerful force. So once the love is there, you already know it's never going to be gone. So this is what I mean, right? There's an attachment because it's earthly, and then there's love, which is universal, and it will always be there no matter what. So I don't fear it leaving because it's always there. My dog now, I don't fear because I know that she's always going to be with me. You better not go anywhere, Frankie. You stay right there, little girl.
Right.
So, okay, we're going to get to number 4. Fix You by Coldplay. When you try your best, but you don't succeed, you get what you want, but not what you need. Stuck in reverse. So I think a lot of us, we want, you know, either we feel like we need to fix people, or we feel like we need some fixing, and we focus too much on healing. And just the thought that you are healed is healing, right? Just saying, I'm healed. I'm not going to fixate on this. It's like fixating on something, you know, over and over, making it bigger than it is. Like when you scratch a wound, a scab, the more you scab, it's now you're making it bigger instead of letting it heal. Okay, it's healed. It's healing.
Yeah.
So, and then another word that came through was lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. So, this is what we were talking about earlier about soul family. You said we're just walking each other, like we're just walking each other home. We're all going to the same location, and we're all just trying to get there, you know, with minimal scarring. Right?
Yeah, and be simple as well. Like all this can be a lot and overwhelming. And every time I get too, like, you know, I remember to, hey, life is, you know, life is easy, life is simple. Go pick a flower, you know, and recenter. It's so important. Okay, you want to do
number 5. I love number 5.
All right.
Because 5 represents freedom. And the song was Freedom by George Michael. And that also represents the soul star and the stellar gateway, that freedom to fly again.
Movement. Yes.
So freedom. Yeah. It says this can look like the road to heaven, or this could look like the road to hell. You decide. Yeah. So very cool. Talks about finding friends and family that will not let you down, and that will stick around. See, so like people that'll stick around not because of an attachment to you, but because of love. I know a lot of people, they will get married and they'll just stay because, oh, we've already been married for 20 years. It's already been 20 years. And it's like, well, time is not linear, so that doesn't matter. You can be more connected to somebody you met for 5 minutes than somebody that you've known for 20 years. So letting that person go is very freeing. You leave this energetic room for the right people to come in when we let go of those that no longer are aligned in our frequency. I don't like to say they're of a lower vibration. I just like to say we're no longer aligned frequency, because frequency is just a vibe, and you can be here and they can be here and you can be meeting, and then all of a sudden one moves a little bit and then it's no longer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I can only agree with that. Like I just got divorced, so, and you know, it was really I'm gonna do a full class, you know, I have my workshops, like my angel pack on the mastermind.com. I'm gonna do a full class about like the divorce thing, because this is such a thing that we need to talk about and transcend, you know, when you just don't match anymore. But it doesn't mean, you know, we're still friends, and we are making so much work actually to not argue and to remain friends, mostly because we have a child. And how you actually can, it could be easy, it could be so easy if we had the right people, the right advice, you know, because people with advice, I would imagine that, you know, people would advise, don't let them do that, when in the end, you know, it's the communication and talking and going for the higher thing is so important. It was like big year of transition, but and
I think a lot of people, they also get stuck, you know, how you're talking about being friends with, when you're raising a child together, it's imperative to you know, let the parent have their relationship with the child that doesn't involve your own emotions towards that person. I know a lot of friends that, you know, they talk about the baby daddy, oh, he's a piece of shit, and they talk about it in front of their child. And it's like, well, let that child has his own. That's your karma with that person. That's not that person. That's not the child's karma with that person. Let them experience their own instead of planting this information in their head, you know, confusing
Totally, yeah. Well, it's hard, you know, because when you're for so long, you know, in a relationship where you're kind of oh, I have one just like that. Oh my gosh, Esteban has one just like that.
Celestite.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, well, I wanna read you something. It's still about this book, right? The White Magic. It's super interesting because it has these relationship between the plants and planets, something I've never read right before. It has this relationship between the plants and the planets. And for example, okay, give me a planet. Pick a planet.
Venus.
Venus. Where is Venus? Okay. The incense containing one or more plants under the influence of Venus favor love and fidelity, reconciliation in couples or between friends. Well, this is exactly what we're talking about. Improve friendship, compassion, joy, and happiness. Contribute to beauty, to youth, and to pleasure. Facilitate the meditation. So these plants are, oh my gosh, it's in French. So I'm gonna translate the ones that I know in English. The iris, jacinth, lilac, magnolias, daisies, mint, orchids, rose, thyme, violet, ylang ylang. Yeah, all these plants, essential oils, you know, you can use all that to reconnect with the planet. Or for example, you were talking about the gate chakra, right?
Yes.
I have this tiger's eye here. The tiger's eye, I'm wearing one as well. It's so good for sucking the pain out. You have some, if you have a migraine, like I think this can help really. One day I had the pain in my arm, right? And I put the tiger eye on it, and it literally, like, I felt like the pain, I felt it like sucking the pain out of my body. That was crazy. And I've seen crystal like literally like sending minerals to a plant as well, you know, that. So this is really efficient. And what is your sign?
My sign?
Yes.
Taurus.
Taurus? Oh, you're Taurus too?
Yes.
What's your date?
May 18th.
May 18th. Okay, I'm May 13th. I know so many people. Wow. So many people between this May, like the last decade of May. Okay, so our plants are cardamom, chèvrefeuille, okay, I don't know in English, lilac, magnolias, daisies, orchids, patchouli, thyme, and violet. So they entertain the relation between the herbs, the plants, the flower, and the planet. And then see the show by rocks, right? By plants, by rocks, like our signs. It's really cool because, you know, there are, let's try Scorpio, some plant, we're in Scorpio season right now, right? Okay, the plants for Scorpios. Amber. Oh, you have the oracle. Yeah. Oh, I love this one. I love it.
As you're talking, integration.
Yes. Oh, I love the liquid. You can show us. Amber, basil, cloves, cumin, ginger, myrrh. How you say? Pine cone, vanilla, and violet.
Oh, I like.
So I think these are like kind of the plants, but you know how for example, I can't stand cinnamon. I don't like cinnamon. I don't like I love the smell. I don't like the taste of it, you know, and some people have more abilities to smell. I'm really sensitive to smells, and touch, and to substance, right?
Yeah, smells, me too. Certain smells will give me really bad headaches.
And then they give you like the gods and goddesses about.
Oh, really? What's the gods and goddesses for Taurus?
So they don't say by they say by concept, right? So the Earth planet, for example, is I don't know any of these. Chronos, Rhea, Saturn,
Oh, Saturn, yeah.
Ops, Prithvi, Rhea, Sif, Tellus, Asia. I don't know any of these. The Dream, Morpheus,
Morpheus, oh my
Geshtnana.
God, Matrix.
Yeah, the Dream, crazy. See, I didn't know that. Then for prophecy, divination, clairvoyance, Anubis, Apollo, Bridget, Exu, Hecat, Icy, Odin, Set, Tot, Woden, Zolot. And Tot, you were talking about Tot. Now, this is a really good book.
Yes, was.
I just wanted, I know I'm just reading randomly, but I just read it yesterday and I was like, this is such a cool book because it really shows that magic is nature. Everything is about plants and crystals. Okay, give me a page and then I'll let you do the cards. Give me a page, random. Pick a book. Which
143.
What?
143.
143? Okay, which book? This one or this one? This is like the Advanced Tarot Secret.
Yes.
Advanced Tarot Secrets. 143. Okay, so it's a method using the Celtic cross. It's for reading. It's for reading. See, maybe you can do that one with the with the light codes. Let's try to do that.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the Celtic cross.
Okay, the Celtic cross. So it's the Celtic cross. It represents the Celtic cross was made for manifestation spread. This spread gives you a nice overview of your goal and the various factors at play. If you have invested the time to learn and use the techniques presented earlier, patterns, hidden spreads, you will get several extra layers of tangible value from this spread. It is these layers of meaning and card interaction that strengthens the effect of your efforts. The best part of using this spread for manifestation is that you don't have to learn and master a new spread. You should be intimately familiar with the Celtic cross by now. And see, it's the Celtic wish pouch here that we have.
Yeah.
Crazy. So if you want, you want to do that? Let's do one spread to conclude and with the light codes oracle.
Yeah, we can do that. How is it set up? Is it one? Oh, I could just do whichever. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 10. Yeah, speaking of the gods and stuff, there was a Hindu god named Krishna that came through in my last live reading, and the name Radhi had been coming through for like the past 2 months, and I had no idea what Rad, it was Radh, and I never bothered to look it up. And then I found out Krishna, his partner or his wife or his, the deity opposite female, her name is Radhi. I said, oh, that's fascinating. I knew nothing about the Hindu gods, but when I had one of my awakenings, I saw all these Hindu gods there, and I had no idea who they were. I literally had to Google it afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's something about the merging of all the gods that you were talking about earlier. Like they're just all part of the one cohesive piece.
And they come to you when you need, like, you need this guy comes, and like one day,
like the Transformers, right? The Transformers has all these pieces, and then they all come together and create the big Transformer. It's like that. Like, I need his foot today. What's it?
Hey, send her. It's like, okay, she's gonna need some of this guy today. Okay, send him her.
Yeah, and so it's interesting how religion is a big thing that has separated people on Earth for centuries, and if people would just realize that it's all part of the same one, there would be less fighting and all this stuff.
We can just take the best of it. We can just take the best of each of them, like I don't know a lot about Egypt. I love Egypt. I'm fascinated by the thing. I just don't know a lot of information, like concretely, like I had this dream one day of like, I think it was Sekhmet. I know I keep hearing Sekhmet, and giving a scarab to another god, right? With and like a reptilian. That was like kind of like a transaction, like a relaying of power, like
Oh my God.
agreement, like a alliance, right? Like, okay, it's the reunification. It's time to I don't know. That was really weird, and so I'm still interpreting this dream.
I wish I brought my symbol book so I can tell you what the scarab means, but there's a big synchronicity with that. So I bought a car, and the one I had to change the light, and the guy took the light out, and there was a dry, like a dead dry scarab beetle that was stuck in the thing. And I pulled it out, and I was like, oh wow, now you're talking about the scarab, the scarab dream. So
yeah, that's crazy. Like, oh, one day I had my ring, I had my Chakra ring. We were doing a workshop at the gallery, and we all taking a picture, right? We're all together, and I'm holding one of the girl like this, around my arm, and like literally my hand is like right in front of my painting, the parallel world with the Taurus in the middle. And it's literally like my hand is right in front of it. I'm in the picture and I have the ring. In the picture, I have the ring. And literally 2 seconds after the picture, we're all, moving out and stuff. And I'm like, where's my ring? My ring is gone. What? And I look everywhere in the gallery. No one came and took my ring, right? It's not there. I don't have it. And like 1 month later, I find my ring in my house. Like in my garage, and I'm like, wait, that's it's just crossed the dimension. Yeah. So these things happen. Like I see in a dream, it appears in your palm, and it's
because they say that with crystals, when one goes missing, it jumps dimensions, and then when you need it again, it comes back. And then yours came back to your house.
You went on like a mission somewhere. I don't know what it did.
Yes. It's got to go do its thing.
Okay, so show us this card. So one day Marcy was doing a reading, and we're kind of talking, spending the morning. It's cool, actually. It's good to be with you. And one day Marcy was doing a reading, and she was pulling these cards, the light worker. What is it? I just have the
sacred geometry cards by I forgot his name, but I think it's Ganache. No, I'll figure it out, and then once you can put it in the description. Forgot the name.
Yeah, I love it. I just love it. I just want to look at the card. I'm gonna buy this oracle. I want to look at the cards all the time.
Ganache.
All right.
Yeah, it's probably I say this is my most elevated deck that I have. Not just because of what it does, but because of sacred geometry and what sacred geometry does to us on a cellular and a subconscious level. So what's cool about these cards, so the first card that I pulled out as you were talking earlier, which I love because this is what the soul star chakra is about. It's about integrating all your parts. And the card was integration.
Put it down a little bit. Yeah. A bit, yeah.
I was trying to get you to see this. It's integration.
Yeah, integration.
And so let me just read a little bit of the beginning so you can understand what the deck does. It's a beautiful card. Look at that.
So this is the back of the card. Is this the same in the back of the card for all the cards?
There is no back or front.
They're all different.
This is one does subconscious, and one is a DNA code on unlocking. So I'm going to see which one. I know the color one, they both mean something different. Let me see where it is. But meanwhile, you guys can look at it because it's supposed to unlock stuff.
It's like a crop circle.
And it's from the Arcturians. What is it? Oh, here we go. Oh, here it is. Okay, so they're keys. They resonate with your subconscious and your DNA. So the geometry has a healing effect on our body and mind. The codes support you in realizing your personal goals and processes of change. They're here to stimulate and awaken you. So we have, here it is. So the silver codes allow you to take in information in a physical, kinetic way, versus the color one allows you to, it's your subconscious patterns and programming. So I love this because if you buy this deck, I'm not sure if they even have it anymore online because it's hard to find.
Really?
But,
I should have got it, or I'm gonna get it. I love it. I love
you can probably find it, but I think it's expensive. But you're supposed to trace them. Gives you a little tracing book and you trace it, and it's a meditative state. And it actually comes with music too, a CD that he created with patterns to go with each card. So it's pretty awesome. So integration. While you guys are looking at it, I'll do the silver side now. The energy of integration helps you apply new truth into your daily life. The energy makes you aware that you are responsible for your own actions. And I love this because it looks like an island. If you look at it, it looks like islands in the center of this beautiful.
Crazy. Wow, I see why it's like.
Isn't that weird? It looks like an island.
I'm going to an island like soon.
And it looks like pearls.
Yes.
And the song that came through at number 7 was Alive by Pearl Jam. And I underlined pearl.
Perfect.
There was something about the pearls and how they're created, right? They're the same way. Yeah. It's like they have to go through the same tremendous pressure, like the volcano, like the diamond, in order to be created. And it says, the lyric that stood out says, I can't remember anything to this very day except love. Love. Yes. And so that's what we take from Earth. No matter what happens in our lives, we take the love. The love is what we take in these beautiful memories of love. So we're integrating all our parts. We're integrating our past lives. It's all concurrent, and we're embodying our highest version of ourselves. People think that they're attaining this highest version, but all you have to do is believe you are your highest version. Like, that's my mantra. I am the highest version of myself. I am the most elevated version of myself. Sometimes I don't like to say hi because then I'm like, oh, what if I'm really stoned in another life or something? I'm the highest version of myself. I've never been this high before.
You should be. You should be. It's good. But you know, this is why also love is so important, because you know, the heart, you are saying, the heart is the center of everything. You know, you have to be happy in your love life. It's important to love yourself, and not just the romantic love, but just the love from your friends, the love for your family. Like, you know, the love is, there are things like people in my family that just like don't love and just like cut them off, because I'm like, I can't take this, you know, I just want love. I want people to, I want to love people. I want people to love me. It's not just loving yourself. And I feel like sometimes the spiritual communities, they're trying to make you feel better, kind of, okay, you know, you have to just love yourself and find your success and manifest and all this other aspect of your life. But really,
that's a what do you call it? I think that's false when they say that you have to love yourself before you can get love. No, because there's been moments where I hated myself, and I had very loving people in my life. So I don't think that you have to love yourself in order to receive love. I think that's just limits our ability. There's a lot of things that limit us that we create.
And to just accept that love is important, you know, and even if you have all the good stuff, the success, the everything, you need to promote, encourage people to love. And sometimes when you're like, you know, people would be like, oh, you can't love this person, this is crazy, or no, blah blah blah. Just whatever. I can't. Is it like illegal to love nowadays, or?
It's universal love. I mean, look at the guy that killed my father. I don't have any. Everybody says I should hate him. Why? I'm sure he has to live with what he did every day. So,
sorry.
Bless you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, you know, we don't have to. It's our journey, and we don't have to listen to everybody when they tell us, "Don't love that person. Don't do this. Don't like." We get to decide that.
Yes, you decide how you love, and you know.
Openness.
What is this one?
This one is openness. And it looks like an eye.
Wow, look at that. I love it. Oh, look
As
at
we're
what I'm
talking about
wearing.
being
Look what I'm
open to
wearing.
love, right? Oh yeah, look. Yeah, as we're talking about being open to love and being open to not caring what people, you know, our journey. So I love that. It does really look like an eye. It almost looks like you see the like veins, and
Wow.
it's beautiful. And I love that it's got the square within the square.
Yeah.
The 8-pointed star. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna do how you said the 10.
Yeah, we don't need to read all of them. I'm probably getting tired, but or if you like,
I just want to see what the energy is gonna come out in a Celtic cross.
We'll just make a picture of it and read one or two.
How did they have it? They had it 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it was like 1, 2, 5. It was 5. So 1 in the middle and 2 on each side.
Okay.
Yes. And 1 crisscross on top.
I'm going to keep the integration card in the center as our first.
Perfect.
2.
So are you still planning on moving, going to Hawaii? What is your...
See, I don't know I don't know what I want anymore. I'm at a crossroads of my own of nothing is drawing me, nothing is pulling me in any direction. And I just don't know what I want to do anymore. I don't know if I want to continue on doing this, what I do with the cards and stuff. I don't get the same. I love doing my lives. I love doing like that stuff, but I don't enjoy doing the personal readings. But I do like talking and doing all this, but I don't like doing the personal readings.
I loved it when you did mine. Oh my God, it was amazing. Remember when you sent me
yes
a video for my birthday?
Yeah, when I do the readings, I don't remember them.
I don't remember exactly. I just remember that everything you said was on point, like every single time. And there is this other lady also I wanted to recommend, and her name is Devyani Singh. Her channel is Isis Channelings. Do you follow her?
It sounds familiar. I might.
She's amazing as well, just like you. Like she's like always on point, and she shares a lot about like the gods and goddesses, and I really love her. Recommend as well. And she's like the other side of the rainbow bridge, right? You're in California, I'm in Florida, she's in India. It's like, and you know, we all have like these pillar points, these center points, we're like antennas, we're like telluric antennas, and grounding the energies where we are to respread it. Oh yeah, show us these beautiful cards.
So I'm going to read each one and show each one.
Yes.
I love, I was getting the energy of contact earlier. And so I'm going to talk about that card right now because oh, wow. I love that. Hold on, I'll show you. I was talking about how the soul star chakra is about also connecting to the higher beings. And as I was putting this over, this accidentally flipped over, and it was intention and contact. So our intention to connect with these higher beings, it's almost like don't give up. Don't give up on this journey. Yeah. This is the path. So in the center, of course, we had the first one, which was the integration card. We showed that one already, which was beautiful. Look in that beautiful, it looks like an island with the pearls. And then below that, we had contact and your intuition. So I'll start with contact first. So this is going to be a subconscious trigger, a DNA codon unlocking when you look at it.
Okay, everybody, if you start having people like ETs contact you in your living room at this moment, it's completely normal.
Yes, it is. And this is what this card is about. It's a beautiful, look at that.
Yes.
The 3.
And it's exactly, I've had a contact before, and you see this pearl, like you have this color like this, like blue iridescent. This is what the being that I came, you were talking about it. This is like the being that came, like connected. Yes, that was exactly like that.
Star. That is phenomenal. So I love that card, contact. And I think what this card usually says, it's about being prepared for it.
Yeah, be prepared because it's already here.
The energy of contact allows you to feel that all doors to your inner source will open when you surrender. Like water, go with the flow. Let your strength lead you and you will find your own way. And I see they have also a different painting on so they have different ones. And inside, it's a very simple. And I'm seeing the feminine with the masculine.
Yeah.
Ooh, blue dolphin. So that's a beautiful one right there. And then we have, of course, the intuition card, another one. And this one is really fascinating. It looks like it's got 4 earths.
Oh yeah, like the dimension, yeah, like the division of dimensions, like the different frequency. We're all on this earth, but there's different worlds within worlds of frequencies. Exactly what we're saying. This is so beautiful how art symbols like this can just express, you know, what we've been trying to express in words like this for a long time. But the crop circles and all of that, I think this is
the crop circles, absolutely. I've always, since I was a little girl, I've been fascinated with crop circles. There was just something about them. I always felt something just by looking at them, but I never understood. And I think now I understand. And I love that in the center of each of these little earths is a Merkaba, representing the light body. Right?
Yes. Oh, I have this little thing. I have these little ones. Okay, I'm gonna send this one today. Okay, I'm gonna send this one today to is she still here? Estella, you're still here? I'm gonna send this to you. I have a little star today because you're with us. And I wanted to give, I wanted to give for everybody one of these. I have this sacred geometry kit.
Estrella, the star.
So every day I've been giving away like one of these little sacred geometry.
Yay!
I was like, if someone shows up and they're participating, I'm gonna send them out. So
I can't see you, no. But yes. I can see. I can see what you're writing.
If you want, you can write to me. It's only the 3 of us. You can write me your name and your address, and I'll be sending you a card with it. It's very small. It's intentional. Okay. It's like I have
her address. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Because it's intentional because of like, you know, there is a geometry kit of like 7 stones, and we all have one. Each one of us has one. I'll send you one. I'll send one for you, Marcy, as well. And so then we all have a piece of the set, right? So we're connected.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'll send you one and one for Elena. Which one? Maybe I'll send you. Well, actually, I haven't even done the giveaway because I was by myself doing almost the lives, but I can do.
I call Estella. I call her stars. So the fact that you're giving her the stars is awesome.
Yeah, and I'll send you this one, Marcy. It's like the stars. You see the 2 triangles that you were just.
Yes, that's like the one that came through over here.
And the green for the heart chakra you were talking. So I'm going to send you this. Cool.
So the energy of intuition helps you transform your deepest emotions and insecurity into power and self-confidence. Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Come put your camera on, Estella. If you want to come out there, absolutely. Yeah, you're not interrupting at all. This is why we created the space so we can talk. Let me see if I can. Can you unmute yourself?
The power of 3.
The power of 3.
Yeah, the 3 of us on here.
Yeah, like charm, the sisters. Yeah, I've been trying. Can you start your video? Let's see. Okay, Estella, if you want to, the host said no. What?
Oh, because you're recording maybe?
No, that should be good. I'm showing ask to unmute, ask to start video. I can't, the host has me, that's weird. I'm trying.
Oh, that's fine. Well, you're trying to do that. I'm going to read
yes.
Duality.
Oh, I got unmuted.
I like duality. Look at that. It looks like a wreath, wow. Christmas wreath.
Wow, that is crazy how it is. I saw something like this just yesterday.
It's like a chain link, right? Like how we're all interconnected.
That is beautiful. I love it.
And so duality, and I think that's about realizing the duality of the universe and how we can transcend, right? The light must exist with the dark. The energy of duality helps you feel at peace with your own inner duality, which is, I think, the divine masculine and feminine energies within us. It helps you live in balance, in oneness and harmony, so that you may continue your path in the cosmic consciousness. It helps you discover life through enjoyment and play. And I love how this looks.
Yeah, like it's all interconnected.
Ooh.
It's like the Celtic symbol, they're all always like interrelated like that. They all symbolize this.
You look at all the dots around it.
Yeah.
And then we have one, openness. This is the one that I already showed you with the eye. So we already talked about the openness, being open.
Dots make everything better, you know. I'm like, why these dots though? You know, for me, the dots, they represent like the microcosm, the
healing.
Yeah, wow. I love the cards. Okay, I want this oracle.
Intention. Healing and intention. Okay, so we're gonna, this one, healing. So as we were talking about healing the heart chakra. And then the back. Anybody can, like when they rewatch this, they can just pause it if they want to meditate on it. I highly recommend meditating on each one. This is the energy that's coming through for the soul star. Page 50, 50. Half and half. Oh, wow. Look at how pretty that is.
Wow. I want to draw these now. I want to make a painting with all these, which I'm probably going to do. Once I get the oracle, I'm probably going to start painting some of these.
The energy of healing helps you heal yourself first, after which you can heal all around you, like the ripples from the stone cast in a water. We were just talking about that earlier, about how we change ourselves. That heals our ancestral lineage. So it's almost like it's confirming the stuff that we were talking about. And then we had the intention card is so beautiful.
Love it.
And I love how the silver code looks. It's this beautiful, like forest green. So it reminds me of nature. And let's see.
What is it about? What is the name of the card? Manifestation?
This one is intention. Look at that.
Intention.
Pretty.
The color of the card almost reminds me of when you said they manifested that apple, like the green and red like this, like an apple.
The energy of intention helps you confirm your choices. Trust the choices you make, knowing they are simply the best for you. And it's on page 44, which I love. Building a solid foundation for the future, the power number. And then I love the two final cards because they are exactly what we've been talking about. Enlightenment and freedom.
Love it.
And so we're going to start with, I think we're going to start with freedom first.
A flower.
Isn't it beautiful?
Like there is this
looks like a daisy. It looks like these daisies.
And there is 1 and then 5 and then 3, right? There's 3 different layers.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here. Take a look.
See, there was 6, and then on the back there's 3 big ones, and in the middle there's the 1, 2, 3 circles.
It's almost like the flower within the flower, the inception of flowers.
Yeah.
Freedom. I love that because we were just talking about freeing ourselves, flying. Where is it? Oh, there it is. 68.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to come visit me in Florida. That would be awesome. Like, that would be really cool. Whenever you want.
No, I was supposed to go out there and I just didn't feel like flying with Frankie. I was like, oh, it's such a process. But my friend, she just had her surgery. So I was supposed to go out to Maine to go see her. And then I was going to do my little East Coast tour, but the weather has been horrible. They said not to fly there right now. So I'm going to see what's going on. I think I'm going to do a 2022 trip.
Yeah.
So freedom, the energy of freedom helps us reach our own freedom. We often search for freedom outside of ourselves, which causes us to feel locked up and stuck. Freedom has nothing to do with the circumstances surrounding us. It's an emotion we can only find within ourselves. Beautiful card. And then I love the final card because it's inside. I forgot, is that a tetrahedron? No. I think that's a tetrahedron. What is the solid?
Pentacle. Around it, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The is a pentagon. Pentagon.
Yes, the pentagon. There we go. Enlightenment. So as we were talking about reaching that enlightenment state with the stellar gateway. Oh, it's on page 34. Of course it is. That number just haunts me everywhere. Yeah, it's the and then the circle.
Yeah, the pentagram. It's like a pentagram within a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you were talking about number 5 as well, and the moon in the middle. Yes. It's a full moon today, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is a perfect card for
this
that.
This is one thing I wanted to say. You see, the card came here to remind me. It's something I wanted to say about the moon and the full moon, and why it's also important to connect with the astrology and the stars and all of that, because it can also help you understand your emotions. For example, today is a full moon, and you were saying like it feels like, you know, it's boiling there, and literally the week before the full moon, I'm so angry. My son is like horrible. We're all arguing in the house. Like the week before the full moon, we have all these emotions, right? Or it can be that you're all super creative. You have so much, and it's like the tide of the water that raises, right? So the moon raises all your emotions. So know that if you have to do a gathering, or if you have to do, don't do it like the week before the full moon, do it after, like the 3 days after the full moon is the best, because you have had all these energies accumulated that's finally soothing and harmonizing. The day before the full moon or the 3rd day after the full moon usually is when I feel the best. Like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days after the full moon is my best time to be in. Today I feel really good. And
the cycles, right? The cycles of the energy of everything. Right?
So important, because when someone comes and argues, yesterday I was so argumentative. I'm not like that. I'm really peaceful. I'm really kind and everything. But yesterday, all day I was so argumentative. And then today, this morning, I was like, oh, it was the day before the full moon. And every single time. So when someone comes to you and they're like, super angry, or attacks me for no reason, instead of taking offense and be like, oh, this person is bad, oh, I'm gonna fight back. No, look at the stars and be like,
10-10.
Oh, it's 10-10. Yeah, look at the stars and be like, okay, this is normal, this is not them, this is the energy going through them. Okay, so don't, someone wants to argue with you, don't argue. You say, okay, we'll talk about it like in 2 days, or you know. But this is important to know that, because you can manage your emotion and understand better also the others. I know in my, like, for example, Esteban, he's gonna be like, no, like throwing a tantrum for everything, you know, like, mommy, can I have a banana? You give him banana. No, but I want red, please. Like, you know, some like silly, the craziest.
Children have big emotions and they don't know how to express them yet, you know?
Yes. So, but it's always, and I look at the calendar, I'm like, wait a minute, what day is it? Full moon or dark moon? Yes, every time. And then I'm like, okay, there's nothing I can do. He's gonna be like this all day, so I might as well just, you know, take it easy. But it's afterwards that I notice it. But once you have the information now, you can know and try noticing.
Yes, patterns, right? It's about understanding and noticing patterns and things.
Yeah. So. Yes, Estela, hey, you can join us, Estela. Thank you for your comments. She said that yesterday she was feeling so tense also.
Yeah, that's how I told you, this headache started yesterday, and it was yesterday at like 3 in the morning. I just got up and I was crying, and because I get them so bad and I just didn't know what to do. So I just pretty much just kind of rested all day, and having to deal with my car situation. You know, you just have to just let it all, in the grand scheme of life, it doesn't matter, whatever. But enlightenment. The energy of enlightenment helps you realize that you are a being of light. You are the personification of strength and divinity. And I think this is the remember. Remember that you are the personification of strength and divinity. When we forget that we are these gods and goddesses, I think, you know, in moments like these, right, where we're feeling like that, sometimes when I'm in pain, I get angry because I'm like, if this is a hologram, why am I feeling this? And I try to kind of talk myself out of the pain. It doesn't work, but still. And it reminds you that you're still on earth and you still have to experience these things. And it gets frustrating sometimes.
But you're able to do the conscious work because you're aware of it. So that helps a lot. It does. It does. Like, I know some like moods from and you know, smoking weed, I say it all the time, but I smoke weed and this helps me a lot as well. Like I have a lot of moods from my dad that is very angry, nervous and stuff like that, I get it. He does a lot of sports, right? He goes bike riding in a mountain, stuff like that to calm his energy. But sometimes I feel like this anger within me and I'm like, oh, this is not me. You know, and this is why I started smoking like really young, because I was like, okay, I don't want this part in me. Okay, what can I do to get this out of me? And
I punch I used to punch a punching bag because it's kinetic
that
energy out.
Yeah.
Out.
Boxing is really good, and smoking literally just makes you open your senses and rebalance everything. Estella saying, my son was talking about that, Marcy. I had to remind him that we are experiencing a human moment, so we still feel all those things.
Yeah, it's okay to feel. I think a lot of the times people think peace, love, and light, and we have to be these little fancy unicorns walking around. And no, we have emotions that need to be released, and we have to find healthy outlets to release them. You know, take my mother, for example. She is always angry, always. There's, you can barely find her sometimes. You can't ask her a question because she belittles the question, or you can't tell her something because she'll always take defensive mode. And I have to kind of pull myself back and say, okay, she's got her own issues and the way that she sees the world, and I don't have to let that energy. I have to find, looking at her with her destructive ways that she expresses her emotions, I look for the opposite ways of expressing my emotions, healthier ways that don't bring other people down in the process, right? So we have to find our own healthy ways to deal with our daily human existence, because we're still human.
But we're finding the remedies. So, the more people know about it, and then the more all this kind of vanishes, I think. If anger, there will always be anger, it's okay, but it's good to work on it as well. Well, thank you. Estella, do you want to come up and say hi? She removed her video. Well, thank you.
I close it out with Isis.
Oh, I love Isis.
Illuminated Master Isis was Ma-Ra in Lemuria. Isis, the high priestess of Atlantis, mother of Horus, and Mary, mother of Jesus. She was always overlit by the universal angel Mary, who helped Isis pass her initiation and ascend in each lifetime. This card reminds you of the power of the feminine. Face your challenges with equanimity and courage, knowing that you are helped by the angels. Keep your light bright and your energy pure no matter what, and this will enable you to influence many on their ascension path. Remember, there is a greater plan. Remember that you are the ascended master. I face my challenges with calm and strength. So we are the ascended masters. We are here not only to, we're not really here to ascend because we've already ascended. We're just here to experience this life and help others experience their life. So thank you for having me on here today.
Thank you, Marcy. It's so lovely to talk to you, spend the morning with you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Estella.
Oh, finally.
Yes.
No, I was like, I'm at work, but I could sneak out for a little bit. But I just want to say, like, a lot of the stuff that you guys were saying just made, it was common knowledge in my brain, but I never knew why or where it came from. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
and my son has that same spirit. And it was funny, a lot of things that you guys were talking about, like the scarab. And I said, oh, I have one in my car. And then she said her beetle. And I go, that's a car. And then, but then I lost him. And then you're talking about how you lost something. And I was like, it's weird, like even tiny little connections makes you brings you back to in the moment, you know, because I was doing my, you know, notes and stuff because I work in mental health, but just like little messages. And I tell my son this, even little messages, listen to them and go with it, because it brings you back to that moment of what spirit wants to tell you, or what your soul wants to tell you. But yesterday our emotions were so high, both of us, and we both just took a moment to say, let's be in the moment together, and let's just take deep breaths and remember that this is just a human experience that we all feel and struggle, but we learn from it. And then he said something amazing, goes, but a human existence is also beautiful, and we need to learn to appreciate it by being in nature and being loved and loving others. And he says, why is it so hard for others to love other people? And you know, it's funny because you guys said something about you don't need to love yourself to love others, or no, others to love you, which is true, you know, but you do need to love yourself to be able to learn how to love others. And I said, so you start by practicing loving yourself first, and then you'll see the beauty in everybody else, because everybody goes through challenges. Everybody goes through, you know, ups and downs, and we can't be judging that, you know, but he's an amazing little kid when we can have conversations. So having a soul family is so important. So like Marcy's really important to me, because there are things where your head's saying, am I crazy? But then when you talk to someone else and you're like, no, everybody else is crazy. You know,
I love Jojo.
Amazing.
Jojo, I said hi.
Yeah, amazing work. Thank you guys. I love it.
Thank you so much
for being here.
Yes, thanks for sharing this, because it's exactly why, you know, we're doing this. Marcy shares all the time. I wanted to do this chakra things, and also sometimes sharing things that I'm like Marcy was saying, like, oh, no one cares about this. Why am I going to talk about my things? But yes, because I saw someone talk about it, and that helped me feel like I'm not that much of a crazy person, you know. And then you understand it's not even you, it's the stars, it's the moon passing by, or planet, or Mercury retrograde, you know, or that then we all together understand each other. And like you're saying,
and it could be a lonely feeling
yes,
when everybody looks at you in a different way because they don't understand. You're in a different vibration, you know, like, and it could be a lonely feeling. So it's important to reach out to others who are in the same, you know. It makes you feel you're aligned with something, that you are focused in something that is important, you know, that is not something just foolish, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, these are important to have. You guys are, like, to me at least, leaders and guides, you know, physical guides, you know. So when I hear and see, or even like keywords, it reminds me, like, yes, I am in my right path, you know.
Yay. And you do that for me too. You always confirm things for me as well. Whenever we talk, there's always something, and I can always share with you my crazy synchronicities and things, and you get it. And it's great to have people like that in your life that could get you.
And that also shows like the presence of the Akashic records, how there is this global energy that we're all picking on. You're also the scarab, you know, we're all picking on the same stuff at the same time. So it kind of like removes this idea of like competition, but more collaboration, because we're all creating it together, you know. And also I wanted to say something about, you know, our mentors or Isis. Like you just pulled the card like Isis, you know, the mother. I don't see it so much like, yes, there is this ideal, there is this God, this goddess energy, strong energy that we identify to, but it's also a part of us, you know, it's also a part of us. And when you idealize your mentors or your guys, you know, they have their humans too. They're even the gods and goddesses when you look at the mythology and how the stories of the gods and goddesses, the Greek gods and goddesses, oh my God.
They have their own gods.
Like gossip thing, crazy, you know, stories. And that I feel that the energy along the years that needs healing too. You know, the vision we have on a goddess, like I was talking about it in another video, but how the name of ISIS, for example, has been taken for a terrorist group.
Yes.
You know,
They
and
did that
how
on purpose.
and how even if you're initiated, you know about ISIS, you're affinate, it doesn't mean like the goddess itself, the energy of the goddess hasn't been damaged and weakened and needs healing too. So we have also, wherever we are on our journey, the ability to reverse, you know, the consciousness and us, and see that it's a give and take as well. It's not yeah, we all inspire each other, we all connect to this collective consciousness and bring healing. And I love it, Stella, that you said that, because I'm like, okay, I'm glad we're sharing all this. Thanks.
I like that this card Isis came through, because to me, what was I talking about this whole time about the soul star and the stellar gate with the eye? So when you look at the card, it's I. So
Yeah,
we are all, this is us, we create this, we're like seeing through this eye, all of us. So I'm grateful to be connected to you guys and to be able to have somebody to have these discussions with. So
yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, merci.
Yay.
Thank you, Estella. Well, let's keep in touch as always, and let's try to do it another time as well, you know.
Yes.
Conference.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely want to do this again. We'll see what topics come up and we can discuss.
Yeah, and also, Marcy, I went to your website and I saw that you have some amazing workshops. Like your shop page and your website is incredible. You don't even put this on Instagram. I didn't even know you had a website. I had to make my research. I was like, wait, she doesn't have a website. What is her website? I want to go see marcymendoza.com. You have some awesome workshops and healing sessions about all kind of topics, like super beautiful and like loving. So, you know, you don't have to, even if you do your readings all the time, the beautiful things also about having these workshops online is that people can refer to it anytime. You know, they don't have to reach out to you and make a schedule and stuff. It's available. Your energy is in the present time. So it's not because it's been recorded before that it's not valid at the time when you need it. Like when I watch one of your videos, sometimes it's maybe 2 weeks after or a month after, but it's not because I'm late to watch it. It's because I'm on my divine timing to watch it. When I needed to see it is when it pops up, you know, and I'm like, oh wait, I remember she did a reading, I missed out on that, I'm gonna check it out. And most of the time it's like refers to something that was from the day before or the day right before, and then I'm like, oh, you see, I wouldn't have understood it. Sneaking back to work. Bye, Estella. Thank you so much, Estella. That was so good to see you and meet you today. And then I'm like, see, I wouldn't have understood it the same if I watched it when it came out, but I needed to have
timing, they say, right?
2 days. Yes. So I encourage you guys to go see Marcy's website and see her beautiful recordings and all her readings, like, because it really changes my life. It encourages me. Like I said, I feel like you're kind of my accountability partner, you know, that we adjust each other in frequencies, just like, you know, everyone else in my soul's family, but you're so special to me because I feel like we've been in this for a long time, you know, together, like supporting. It's so important. Like, I really love you and appreciate you. So
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited to share this with everybody on my channel too. And get the word out on your artwork, because I think more people need to see it and experience it as well. It transcends. Like I was saying before, it just has this energy that reaches you on a deep cellular subconscious level. And I think more people need to experience it. So I'm excited to share this with them as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I have workshops as well. Like if you want to, I do videos like we did today to talk about the concepts. And I also have painting classes, right? You can look on my website. I'm going to post it on the link, but there's classes. You can learn to paint the geometry. The Dottism is really special because it's really the technique for the people who don't think they can make something beautiful and vibrant and energetic with just a few circles and learning a few techniques of geometry. And you actually learn a lot. And the Dottism, bring the energy of colors. You see how every chakra, you're talking about the star chakra, you're talking about the gold, and the colors matter. The colors have an energy in the crystals, in everything. So I also teach all of that in the classes.
Yeah,
so we can always go further.
Yeah, Estella's son, he would love, she would probably really be good at this. So I'm gonna have her check out your website and see if maybe she can get him a class and see how he likes it. Because I think more kids, even kids too, reaching the younger audience.
Even, yeah, absolutely. Yes, for the kids, because if you know everything you're healing once you reach, you know, in your 20s, let's say your teenagehood, you have your dealing with your parents, your teenage things. Like in your 20, you kind of have, unless you have kids really young, but you have not much responsibilities. But by the time you're 30, 40, you know, you have more experiences, more traumas to heal, more realizations and stuff like that. But if you right away from when you're a kid, right away from the kid, if us as parents or as communicators, and you know, you already share this with the youngest generations, and they, like Estella's son, he listens to your videos, and then they grow directly like this. So that solves in 1 or 2 generations the problem of the war, and the empathy and compassion and all of that is solved like really quickly. I think we've done
ripple effect.
Yeah. The past, maybe after war, or since after the war is when all the traumas and stuff, really, the Second World War. So the past 50, 60 years has been a whole process of rediscovering, okay, what are we here for? What are we rebuilding? How is the technology? Now we're more into the spiritual. And so that's gonna, just like the science, you know, the science, all this that took a long time, now it's gonna go really fast. I think all this is gonna merge, and now in 5 years, even, yeah, in 5 years, the world is gonna be like completely different, more beautiful, I think.
Yeah, I keep holding that vision. I've seen it in a vision before, and I keep holding on to that vision. Even when things look bleak and dark, I just hold on to that. Like, okay, I know I've seen it, and I'm just going to keep holding that on. I'm not going to let this external or whatever they try to show you on the news. I don't really watch the news, but sometimes I'll walk in on my mom and she's watching it, and I'm like, no.
Most of the things on the news are theater. Like, most you see on the news is messages. It's messages for certain people, for certain matters, for certain purposes, with codes, symbols, subliminal things to program the mind in fear, or in certain, just like advertisement and all of that. So it's, why is it important to do the art, to register to a workshop, to learn the symbols, to learn the card, the imagery, all of that? Because then you start seeing what's actually going on in the world. And so many times I'm watching the news, and there is such a dissonance between what the eyes see and what they're saying, and what the actual real message and purpose is, that is completely, you know, different. So yeah, that's important to be able to at least identify it. So then you can put a barrier and be like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. No? So then I choose what my state of mind is going to be about it, instead of being like in the fear or feeling powerless. Because with the COVID and stuff like that, what happened is that people were put powerless, because we put a problem, the health is the most important, we put a problem that everybody is powerless about, is a victim about it. You don't want to catch it. It's like you can't control if you catch it or not. It's like you don't want it to come to you. So all you can do is isolate yourself and completely shut down, you know, to put you powerless. But when you become more sovereign, let's say, of your immune system, all of that, then you can be like, okay, no, I'm not in fear, and I trust in, you know, I trust in my immune system. I trust in what I actually see is that I haven't seen many people around me that had it, you know. And I'm not saying it's not real, it is real, but it's like you choose the frequency to align with. Now I'm saying that, next thing you know, it's I don't like to say stuff like that, because then you kind of like jinx yourself, you know.
We're all divinely protected.
Yes, Exactly.
Those that are meant to, you know what I mean? We're all divinely protected. That's how I always see it.
Good word on the end.
It's all a hologram. It's all an illusion created to divide, and the duality, right? We're created to divide. So we have to stay in the unity consciousness. Otherwise, we fall into this separation.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, it's okay for everybody to make their own decisions and however they want to do things. It's about making their own, choose your own adventure, right? How at the beginning we were just talking about choices and decisions, and that everybody just make your own, what's it called? Informed decision of how you feel and how you see things, and go from that, and let everybody just make their own decisions and not guilt people into doing things, or, you know what I mean? I think a lot of the things that was happening lately was guilt. A lot of guilt was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not doing your part.
And I love what you said last time. You were doing a conference and you said, you know, I'm protected. I feel the same. I don't really do cleansing, you know, like rituals to cleanse. Like there's a ritual thing today. It was just for the fun because I want to show that it's intentional. But I feel the same. I feel protected. I feel, you know, like you said last time, I'm protected. I don't need to do the ritual. I just trust, you know, that.
Because, you know, to me, sometimes when we do the rituals or things like that, it comes from a place of fear. I'm scared that I'm not going to be protected. And so we do this, which is great because it's a very, it does work because it is a subconscious thing that you're doing to, you know, a belief. But also just believing that you are protected is a perfect ritual for protection. Just this honest belief. I believe it, and that's it.
I believe. Well, thanks, Marcy. I hope your migraine is not, we talked a long time. I hope your migraine.
The whole thing, I didn't feel anything, so it's good. So I'm feeling good. Let's hope it lasts.
All right. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a great day, everybody.
Too. Love you. Okay, bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.